What's up, everyone? You're watching The Nth, the people, places, and things that affect your world and our society. Today is Tuesday, July 28th, 2009. I have 120 seconds to bring you the news, and my time starts now. Tonight's person is Michael Jackson's former doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray. The doctor's medical office and Las Vegas home was raided by Drug Enforcement Administration officers today. Dr. Murray is suspected to have given Michael Jackson the drug propofol. Now, this drug is what many doctors think killed Michael Jackson. With that being said, Dr. Murray is now under investigation by the DEA. Now, although he has not been charged with any specific charges, he is suspected of manslaughter or medical malpractice. Tonight's place is North Carolina. This is where 7 men are accused of being terrorists. According to the Justice Department, the 7 are charged with supporting terrorism and conspiracy to commit murder abroad. All 7 men are U.S. citizens, and the U.S. Attorney in Raleigh, George E.B. Holden, said these charges hammer home the point that terrorists and their supporters are not confined to the remote regions of some faraway land, but can grow and fester right here at home. The men are suspected of traveling to the Middle East for training in jihad or holy war. Tonight's thing is 911 calls. And it was one 911 call by Lucia Whalen that sparked a national debate about race relations between police officers and the general public. Now, she was the woman who made the phone call about Professor Gates potentially breaking into his own home. Now, the sound from her 911 call was released today, and it turns out that race was not a factor. The dispatcher asked her specifically, was the person breaking into the home black, white, or Hispanic? And she says, well, there were 2 larger men. One looked kind of Hispanic, but I'm not really sure. And the other one entered, and I did not see what he looked like at all. Earlier in the phone call, she said that there were 2 men who had trouble getting into their door and that she didn't know if they lived there or not. Stop the clock, look above me, and see if I made my 120 seconds of news on today. And if you were just joining me for the news and the headlines, you can click stop. And for everyone else, this is my closing commentary. Overreacting. So the news of Professor Gates being arrested in his own home sparked a conversation across the nation about race relations, racial profiling, whether police were right and whether the police were wrong. Well, after listening to the 911 calls today from Lucia Whalen, that's the woman who called the police about Professor Gates, I think it's safe to say that we all overreacted. The national media and even myself, I think we took the story out of proportion and that we reacted the wrong way to the calls. Now, I do not agree with what the officer did at all. I think once the professor showed that he lived there, that he should have packed it up and kept it moving. However, after learning that, in fact, that the police officer has pretty much a squeaky clean record and that he even teaches racial profiling classes, I can say that he is not the racial bigot that most news media, even myself, made him out to be. So for that, I do apologize. At the end of the day, I guess it just goes to show you what happens when we react without having the facts. And that's all the news on this edition of The End. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you can follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/TheEndNews. You can join our Facebook group. It's called I Watch The End. And you can also email us at yahoo.com. Our email address is theendnews1@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'm James Rice, and I'm out.